We go. We are in this. Get this shared. Let's get this moving.
Welcome to the ASOP Vehicle Retrieval System.
I'm multitasking here. We need our whole C for this. That's all we need.
Please visit us again. Goodbye.
What is up? I know we are early and we do not have a long stream today. Let's get rocking and rolling here. Check something. Venisari, good morning. How you doing? Okay, that audio should be good. My audio should be good, not like yesterday where we had our hiccup with Nvidia. Alright. Let's quickly get the whole C kitted out. We got a new update, so everything got reset. We lost our TS2 quantum drive as well, but that's fine, because we still have an Aorus, hopefully. I made sure all my vehicles were claimed and in position, because if you leave a vehicle in claimed status, like it hasn't been claimed yet, you can lose the attachments, which sucks. Okay. We don't really need the jump drive today. But we got the one cooler, we got our Aorus quantum drive, it's the most important part. We will go ahead and remove the excess weaponry. Just habits I have for flying this thing. We'll throw on our little Empire, or United Planets of Earth flag. We're good. Alright, let's get the hell out of here. Yo, Charlie Mike, what is up? We are going to be running through the whole C missions, because I found that I can still make over $1 mil an hour doing this. I plan to make a YouTube video, but it's going to be a lot shorter and to the point, that kind of gives people the heads up about these big changes to how you haul with the whole C, because our big 700k missions are gonzo. They've been completely removed, probably getting replaced by something with Redwind line haul in the future, because that is going to be the interstellar hauling focus. Alright, let me just get my Talon gear on real fast. I think that's the full kit, which fortunately is working properly now. It's not like despawning as you put it on, which was really annoying. Always go out with some goodies. A firearm, tractor rifle. Where is my did they change how they organize this? Where's my kill shot and my... Oh, it's on the first page, I think. Happy Camper, what's up, bro? I missed your FSD content. Just a review of 12.6 would be fine. Any update on Model Y performance? So, I need money, man. Little old me does not make enough money to get a Model Y right now, but I'm trying to get there eventually. And I do want to get more FSD content, more Tesla content back. I've got some things I'm going to try. But just people are going to have to be patient with me, because it's going to come as it can, and hopefully I can get back into the flow of making it come more regularly. But it's tough. I don't have a lot of customers that are English speaking or talkative, you know, good kind of FSD content in general. But I've got a couple things I want to try and want to get to. That is my goal. Let's go ahead and get something to drink here. All while still trying to grow the gaming channels, which is still pretty good, you know, just up over 2,000 subscribers now, so I'm really happy about that. Battlefield side's struggling, but Star Citizen side's going strong. If I was to put a timeline on the Model Y performance, though, 8 months to a year is probably the best I can do under current circumstances, unless my real estate career blows up. But that's kind of its own pain in the ass. But, This coming next week, I'll be back to the full flow of doing Uber and Lyft again. You know, I've been sick this last 2 weeks with frickin' COVID or what have you, so it's been a real pain in the ass. Couldn't really do much. And then my car needed its 12-volt battery swapped, which got done yesterday. Or the day before, no, because yesterday morning I did go out. I was out doing Uber and Lyft this morning from about 5 to about 9:30. I've got plans of family today, and just kind of non-stop. I appreciate that greatly, man. And I'm not giving up on it. More's coming. It's just, it's taking a minute. We got a queue to get out of here, really? Man. Let's go gear up. Let's get our power redistributed. I also thank you and other folks for kind of, you know, showing me that the demand is there by asking me about it. That at least motivates me to realize, like, all right, so even if it's 12.6.4, it's technically outdated stuff. People want to see it, and that's exciting in its own right. I gotta wait till this queue clears up. I hear somebody else's tractor beam going off. Interesting. Get a chance to try engineering test yesterday. Nope, I don't know what was up with the engineering thing. I saw something about it in chat, but I wasn't a part of it. I don't know who or what was able to do that or get involved with it. I've been doing nothing but hull seat testing. These new missions, or the new style, I guess, just given the change to the way stellar and interstellar missions work. I think we're finally opening up so we can get out of here and get to work. It's raining at Hurston. Full speed ahead. Try to increase our pitch a little bit here so we get out of here faster. Yeah, this is going to be a short stream today, unfortunately, because we got to get going in about an hour and a half at the most. Just given the distance of travel to get to meeting up with my mom and stepdad and some siblings, I think. Alright, shoot up to Everest for now. We got to take a peek at missions here. You're not late. We just started. It's only been about 8 minutes. It's going to be a short one, unfortunately, today. Not a lot of you would have caught it yesterday on the Battlefield stream, but I've got family plans that I was sort of sprung on that apparently I agreed to without remembering. So I'm meeting family around 1 o'clock. It's about an hour and a half drive to go meet them. So that's going to eat into my ability to stream today. So I'm just doing a little bit for now, at least to do a little something. I didn't know I'd be able to do anything at all because I just got back from work. All right. Let's take a peek at our first kind of bulk mission. And we're going to do what I sort of realized yesterday, which is for these missions, just given the way things can shift around a bit. Let's see if there's anything from Everest since we're already here. It's best to actually kind of like pick your next mission while you're in quantum to wherever you're dropping off. So here we go. We got one at Everest. So we'll go ahead and try to grab this. Let's go ahead and expand the whole C out. I did make just over 1 million AUEC in about 50 minutes. Would have made about 1.4, but the last mission had the bug where one box delivered and then it said complete, and I was stuck with the rest of it on my spindles. I couldn't get around it. And it might have been because of server issues. It might have been because of stacking missions. It's hard to say. But it was the only mission that had any sort of failure. I went through like 8 missions really well. And I'm planning to use that as my YouTube video for everybody to keep you updated on what's changed.
Hey, this is Cargo Services. Let me see what we got. Sending you a deck assignment.
Alright, cool. It only took 2 tries to get the deck assignment that time, which is good. Where is it? There it is. So about the 10-minute mark now, or I guess I'll hit a timer real fast so we can kind of get an idea of our earnings. I don't typically grind for like earnings per minute or anything, but you know, to be able to give people the info to compare to what we were doing before. With the 700k missions, we were closer on a really good day when everything's working well to about 2 million an hour. So we seem to be about half that, if not a little bit more than half that. All right. We're trying point A to B route or the bulk missions doing a lapse. So we are kind of going with the flow. So we're pulling a mission at a time for now, just to, because like I kept finding myself having to kind of, instead of doing a loop, having to kind of go A, B, C, D, C, D, A, like moving around kind of like that, little zigzag. So long story short, my plan now is pick up a big mission, like a 240k payout mission. That's a good bulk amount. This one's going to Port Tressler. So on Quantum to Port Tressler, I'm going to look at missions from Port Tressler that might be going somewhere else. And kind of go like quantum planning is what I'll call it. Quantum cargo plans. While you're in Quantum, set up the next route. Hopefully it works out to where you're able to just pick up from where you are and then drop off somewhere else. And it should flow. We'll see. We're going to find out. Long story short, I'm watching you now. Hey, what's up? Awesome. So cool. We got our first load. We don't have to worry about double loads or excess loads. We're going to go ahead and set course for Tressler. Sort of speed running this a little bit.
Thank you. And please visit again.
Cargo services. Let me see what we've got. We've got a deck assignment for you.
I don't need a deck assignment. We've already got the cargo. We're leaving now. Bye. Alright. And this might be something you can practice now in live, because honestly, with the 700k missions, there's never really been much incentive to do this. But since those missions are gone, there's all the incentive to do this. So we got 38 gigs, right, to kind of figure out what we want to do next. We know we're going to Port Tressler, so we'll take a peek at the missions. And also, I'm going to take a peek at some other stuff while we're here. Still all rookie on Redwind. That's shitty. Planetary is not going to be what we want. We want Stellar. So a lot of these are going to Lagrange points. Actually, this is going from Bajini to Everest. It's one of the smaller ones. But we're not going to Bajini. We're going to Tressler. So, and we want experience, not the others. So Seraphim. I mean, and you can mix this up however you want. This is just how I'm doing it today. Bajini to Seraphim. Tressler to Everest. So it'll take us back. Tressler and Bajini to Everest. I don't really want to fuck with the double pickups because that seems to cause problems still. So we got one here. Tressler to Everest. We'll keep an eye on that. See if we get any bigger ones. So recap for me. Big changes. What do you speak of? How you do these missions. No more 700k missions. Pretty big change that people are going to have to get used to. So I'm trying to show the way to do this efficiently. How to make that money we were making in a different way, because there's a lot of panic that's like, oh no, our missions are gone and you know we can't do what we used to. Damn, I probably should have done these two together. They might have been enough. Yikes, my bad. That could have been 400 or 500k payout right there, just going from Everest to Tressler. Now we know. So Tressler doesn't have a whole lot going on other than this one back to Everest. So we'll take this. And we'll look at our money too. We're at 5.4 million, roughly. 5.412. So we'll see what we're at when we're done with this in about an hour or so. And Bajini to Everest. Okay. So this Tressler run goes back to Everest. And that's cool. That's just what we'll do for now. When we get back to Everest, we might pick up two. Delivered to Bajini. We're already pulling in. I can hear us decelerating, which is nice and fast. Seraphim's got to run to Tressler. So we can also see if there's any just better back and forth loops between like Seraphim and Tressler. They kind of all tend to go all over the place. I'm still on a work trip. I miss SC so much. Oh, it's good to see you. Hopefully you're able to get back soon. How long you been stuck on the work trip? Sounds like it's a decent length of time. We got the Tressler really quickly. It's only been 4 minutes. Alright, angle ourselves for that orbital maneuver node. We'll also see how consistently the stations work for all-node offload. In yesterday's testing, it went really well. It was only the last mission where we got that miscount bug where it said we were complete. without everything being taken, so that sucked. That's the only bug I know of that doesn't have a workaround, because every time you try to go back into a grid, it says mission complete with no further delivery. So you're stuck with a bunch of boxes. You have to either offload or claim your ship or run your ship into something. Now, a trick I did learn that I'm excited to show you guys if I'm able to with this is how to initiate a pickup without leaving the box. Wow, 2-week work trip. Yeah, that's quite the commitment. Well, I hope this next week isn't too painful. Hopefully it's all just PTU testing, so that when you get back, Nix is ready for you. Alright, let's blast in here. Kind of make sure we're not coming at anything important. I think we're good. Just go until about full burn is over. Nice. About 330 meters a second. I love it. So I'm just going to kind of look around. What's nice under this sort of zoom in, you actually uncover like where all the turrets are. So you can get an idea. It's like, there we go. We got a turret there and a turret there. But it doesn't look like there's going to be one directly in front of us. So that's perfect. So now I'm confident that we can turn and burn without running anything. So master missions at a 300k payout are still not worth it for the time involved. You're saying that stacking smaller payout effort missions are better. I am not saying anything about master yet because I haven't reached senior or master in the PTU. It might be different now. I'm saying that since experienced and senior 700k missions have been taken away, you know, the 698, 711k single point drop-off missions, those are gone. So you don't have a choice but to run around with the smaller payout stuff, but it's still whole sea quantities of cargo. What I found in doing this, though, is that you can still easily make like $1 million an hour over. I did that my first try yesterday. So my biggest point is, like, we might not be making as much as we made with that really easy point-to-point, but it's not the end of the world. The whole sea moneymaker is still very much alive. You're just going to have to be a bit more of a trucker, you know?
Okay, here's your deck assignment.
All right. What's going on, Milton? Cool. I'm glad the title of the stream is catching eyes. So my whole point of that and this today is showing you guys how to keep making that money with the big change to the whole sea missions. And where the hell is the deck assignment she's talking about? I don't see it anywhere. There it is. So on the last live stream that you guys saw with the whole sea, we confirmed that our interstellar 700k payout missions are gone. And that's the big change. Might be anticlimactic for those of you who already knew that. There's going to be a lot of people that don't know that, though, and are going to be caught off guard by maybe losing those missions if they haven't heard it through the grapevine yet. And I am just demonstrating that you can still make a buttload of cash with this ship if you cannot overshoot your landing zones. Let's back up here. There we go. And I might be able to demonstrate, if it works out properly, the way that you call cargo without having to change boxes when you have a stacked mission, which we do right now. We have a pickup from Tressler as well as this drop-off. So, let's see how this functions. And should autoloading fail, are the external cargo grids viable? Yeah, as far as I know. I haven't had to test that yet, but that'd probably be a good idea to test maybe on Monday's live stream, or I'll test off stream as well. Oh, one thing I have had to do consistently, guys, is seat check to get the cargoes to start. That's been consistent. Wow. It has been consistent, but of course I'm live, so Murphy's Law is going to come into play here. I'm afraid to pay cash for any ship until I see how bad engineering is solo. Yeah, well, with the engineering testing going on, I don't think the engineering's coming out yet. It's just getting more testing. Got like a rain effect right now on screen, which is really funny because we're not in atmosphere. Why are we not? What is going on? There was an update to the PTU that I did this morning. I'm hoping it didn't fuck something up. So to put it simply, route-wise, there is no particular route. You are going to look at your offers under stellar hauling. You're going to go for experienced. The 160 is the smaller amount. There are several 248s with whole sea quantity stuff, like 1900 from Bygenie to Seraphim. What I'm starting to do is if you have enough and it maths to where it's less than 4608, so you're not over capacity because that will cause problems, you can double up. You know, like they're 2 to Everest going to Tressler that, you know, don't exceed capacity, you're good to go. But what I'm doing, though, because a lot of these missions will exceed capacity if you stack them, is I'm picking, like, the one we're on, for example, which is basically a mission like this, from Everest to Tressler. On the way to Tressler, I plan my next route based off of what's available at Tressler to go to Seraphim, Everest Harbor, Bygenia, whatever, and just planning that route as such. A bit more like an actual trucker would, versus just having the same route back and forth, because that's not going to be a thing anymore. Alright, for some reason, we're getting some shenanigans here, which I don't have time for this morning, and I think Chris Roberts knows that, which is why it's fucking up. Let's try another seat check. We moved around a bit. Walker, what's up? Just nervous about doing whole scene missions that have multiple drop-offs and pickups, because with my luck, the last one won't work. Don't do multiples. Do single. I don't do those missions for the same reason, because so far they haven't been reliable. So these ones here, where you're picking up from Tressler and dropping off the well, you can't do that one with the whole sea anyway, because it's not a main station. So gateways I haven't seen. It's only low orbit stations that are viable. So like this is a single point drop off. You're good. Do it. No reason not to. This one, I wouldn't do it, because you have to pick up from 2 different locations and then drop to Everest Harbor. That's where I think you're asking for problems. Same in the reverse, where you're picking up from the same place and dropping to 2 different places on one mission. Don't do it. Just, I mean, do what you want. I'm not gonna. You can do whatever the hell you want, but it's gonna be the single stuff that I want to do. So like, even this is risky. Seraphim to Bygenia and Everest. It might work. It might work a few times. It might not. It might jack everything up. Do at your own risk. You have a few options here. Seraphim to Tressler, 2731, single point. Do it. You're typically going to be fine. We're dealing with something weird here, which is this is just not working at all. So we're gonna leave and get another grid, which has been a workaround. Let's try it. I always thought rather than a box, you have to move it into. It would rather be connecting to a docking arm or other such device. Well, no, docking would make sense. It would take. I wish they would just do docking, because then you wouldn't have the stupid "are you stationary or not" bullshit that we have to constantly deal with, you know. But we're still dealing with grids and sort of the invisible drone loading kind of thing. It is what it is. But yeah, I mean, that whole thing with that blue box there all depends on server connection, server health. That's one of the reasons that I say when you're a whole sea captain, try to get into a low pop server. Try to find a friend who's on a server that is not maxed out 500-600 people, because it's going to be a lot harder to get things done consistently, because there's a lot more traffic, there's a lot more communications issues, a lot more lag, however you want to call it. So we're just trying to back away now to get a different box. This is really annoying. I didn't have this problem at all yesterday. Go figure. Don't want to get held up on the first damn mission. Onload was perfect. Onload was no problem at all. For some reason, offload's being a bitch. Yeah, double stacking missions, it works with a degree of success. So far. When I first did this testing, I stacked like 6 missions together and was kind of trying to do a loop. But we had issues with overcapacity and having to go back and collect more and drop off. But it was working. It was just, you were doing a lot of extra work because you had to go back to pick up what you missed. Alright, why the hell is this box still here, man? Yo, Medic Mall, what's up? Happy Friday. Apparently I gotta back up further. We need this box to go away. This is really stupid. Gotta get like a full 10 clicks away from the station for this. And we're really heavy, so we're moving slow. This is the kind of stuff that'll annoy me. Or is it an excuse to use external elevators, put those tractors to work? It's too much right now. I don't have the time for that. I have to go in an hour. On a longer stream where I can go 4 or 5 hours, totally. We'll mess with the external elevators. We'll see what it's like, but not today. I'm not at the mercy of having that sort of freedom. For whoever doesn't know, I'm streaming early, and I only got about an hour and a half to stream because of family shenanigans. So I got to go meet and hang out with family. It interrupted my Friday. It is what it is. I didn't plan for this, but, you know. Family obligations are family obligations. You do what you got to do. Just got experience. Hell yeah. Hey, soak up those 700k missions while you can, my friend, because they are no more. the 698K point-to-pointers. And make sure you're using the further back cargo grid from the center of the station, like kind of away from the station. Like call your box over here, not over here in the live build. Tend to have better luck that way. Alright. Let's get back in here and try again. We're also going to sort of try the rear box trick. It might be the same in the PTU. I'm sorry if I'm a little bit more quicker in my tone. I'm kind of in hurry mode and a little aggravated that my day got interrupted. But I really want to try to show as much of this as I can. So please, keep asking questions, all the stuff. Alright, let's try.
This is cargo services. Let me see what we got. Got a deck assignment for
Alright,
you.
we did get a different box. That's good. Fort Tressler's so small that there's probably not too many grid slots. There's probably like 8 total.
Complete. Have a pleasant stay.
We're going way too fast. Damn it. Hang on. Let me try to use my dorsal rotation here. Slow down a bit faster. We might be okay. Here we go.
Welcome to the loading area. If you get into position.
They shouldn't be. I haven't heard anything about an AUC wipe, so I would assume no. Has anybody heard anything about one? I haven't. I would say no. There's no planned wipe of any sort that I've seen. Okay. All right. Getting a new grid worked. Cool. And getting the aft grid worked. Sweet. So, this is another. So, this is the thing I was wanting to show you guys too. We'll see. It might auto onload, but if it doesn't, if it says cargo complete where you thought you normally had to go and, you know, get a new box for the onload, you don't. I kind of stumbled across a trick that some of you might already know. You just call the box again while you're in it. I'll show you what I mean if it comes up. And also, so far, aside from the one mission that bugged where it said I delivered one and then said complete, all the missions have been completing to 100%. I haven't had any leftover boxes yet. I did just say that, so that it'll probably happen this time. But so far in my testing, they have been 100% deliveries, and the contracts have automatically been pulled from our screens. So, we'll see. It should. There it is. So, it says complete, right? But we have a pickup here. I'm going to stay here. I'm going to call it again. Watch.
Hold tight. Start to transfer your cargo.
There it is. All I did was call it again, and it triggered it to load from the same box. So, I don't know if this is something you can do in live. Maybe some of y'all can go try this. But it worked here. We got our onload without changing boxes, and now we can get back to Everest Harbor. So if that is new, that is an awesome quality of life improvement and a massive change for the whole sea. If it's not new and I just never thought to try it before, then I feel really stupid. Alright, back to Everest we go. And we're just going back to Everest because that's the only place that Tressler has to take cargo. And then Everest might have stuff to take to other places. I've also noticed that the missions don't just kind of repeat the same generic thing. They seem to be on sort of an RNG loop of different quantities going to different places. I'm going to grab my whole C and go science that unload load trick now. Hell yes, please. Talum, and if the stream ends before you're able to, please comment below the stream on the VOD that's going to hit and let me know what you find. Because if you can do that now, and it's a trick that none of us knew about, that's kind of crazy. I can't believe nobody stumbled across it. But if it is a new mechanic, it's going to be incredible. It's been consistent, too. I did like 7 jobs yesterday, and I just stayed there. And after she said, all right, mission's complete, all I did was call it one more time, and it triggered her to say, all right, starting your cargo load. And I went, what? Oh, has this always been a thing? So, yeah. All right. Now, this is my method again. We're in quantum planning. That's just my lame name for it now. I haven't come up with anything more catchy. Quantum route planning. While in quantum, since you have time, less depending on how fast your quantum travel is going, we know we're going to Everest. So now I'm looking at experienced. What is at Everest going to other places? Now, I do want to go for the bigger 240s first, like this, by Genie to Sterifim. but the 162s are the others. So 245 Everest to Tressler in the amount of 1848. I'm going to put that on my calculator because it's all about capacity. I just don't want to go over capacity. 1848. All right. We are going to accept that one, so we've got it on our log here. And remember, abandoning does nothing. So if you need to abandon for organization's sake, you're okay to. It doesn't hurt your rep. 248 from by Genie to Seraphim. That's the one we saw. Wasn't there another... That's a double. I don't want to fuck with that yet. I will be testing the doubles, the double pickups and the double drop-offs, because if they do work consistently, I want you guys to know that. That's not on today's agenda, though. Everest by Genie, 1555. That's not over capacity. We can do both of these and make like 500k in one pass. Everest by Genie and Everest to Tressler. So this is dope. This is where it can get a little bit more in the weeds. We know Tressler didn't really have much going on, but there's probably something from by Genie that can go somewhere. So this is where our net will sort of expand, and you're just going to want to keep track of your quantities. This is what we're currently taking back. And this is a sizable amount of revenue that adds up very quickly. So it, you know, I mean, just between these two, this is about 500k. This makes it over 750k. So don't feel discouraged. We're already back at Everest. What we have to decide now, what I probably should have looked at is, by Genie has a big one to Seraphim. So if the quantity isn't going to be over capacity, then we can take it. And then maybe Seraphim's got something to Tressler where we offload the Everest one as well. You see where my brain's starting to cook with this? I didn't really know how to articulate it. Just worked for me and Magnus. Thanks. Oh shit! So it does work now. It is a current mechanic. How have we not discovered this, guys? Has it just not been something we thought to try? I wonder when that became a thing. Well, maybe if you guys haven't heard it from anybody else, you heard it from me first, right? I get credit for the discovery? Yeah, is that how that works? No. Just got here, missed the context of what's a thing. So, when you have, like, a pickup and a drop-off at the same location, good to see you in the chat, by the way, buddy, before, we've either gotten the onload immediately, like if we're lucky, like it'll offload and just start onloading, or we've had to, in the past, because we just thought we did, leave and get another box, another load box. What I discovered in the PTU that apparently, according to Manic so far, is a current mechanic in the game, is you don't leave the box, you just call a box again. And it triggers onload, which we just did at Port Tressler. We'll probably do it here as well, because we're dropping off and picking up from Everest. And if it's a mechanic we've had this whole time, or recently, it's one that I've never known about till now, and I don't think anybody's really tried. Yeah, whole C things, whole C things. So that might not be a big change, but it is a big realization. Yeah, this is a small load, so we should still have most of our thruster capacity to do what we need to speed up and slow down here. Yeah, so we'll collect the 2 Everest pickups, which is going to get us close, 3,400 or so capacity. Hopefully we do offload before we pick up. That is something that can get a little wonky, and I think can mess up your system. Requires more testing, which that's what I'm here for. Maybe since they fixed the infinite audio ticks error that recently affected the whole C. I don't know that they have. I know she will say something every time you trigger the call. I haven't played since yesterday, where yesterday they definitely had some infinite audio problems. I've just been limiting how much I mash the button to avoid spamming it like that. I hope they took care of that, because that was wild, dude. We got a problem. Okay, you're good to go. We got a problem. Okay, you're good to go. It's so frustrating. Okay.
I'm tracking you.
Whoa, I was going way too fast, but we managed to stop it before we got here. Now, again, I've had to seat check a lot in yesterday's patch. I don't know about today's, because this is new. We're loading. Or no, we're unloading. Good, we're unloading first. All right, so I might be able to demonstrate it again here. And what's cool is, like, I'm appreciating the fact, even though they get repetitive, I'll see we're auto-loading this time, so I didn't have to call it. So it's not the same every time. But we should be getting 2 different items. But I like that the audio cues of the ATC kind of lets you know what's going on. If there's interruptions or if you're good to load. That is actually a useful thing. That looks like processed food. I think that's what we're currently loading. Yeah, because hydrogen will be yellow. I'm also going to science 2 missions that I'll pick up at Bygenie and drop off at Everest. At Everest, I'll drop them, pick up for a haul to Pyro. Yeah, sounds good. They have caused problems for me in the past. Typically, picking up from the same place and dropping to 2 different ones for me has not been as bad as picking up from 2 different locations to drop at 1 location. The latter has been the worst in my experience. Hopefully that gets resolved. Every time I see that loading grid, I'm taken back to the old days of AC when if you passed the barrier, you died. Oh, shit. Yeah, there we go. So, and I do like this part, because it is adaptively loading based on where your cargo placement is. And mixing stuff. I've seen it. It'll even rotate the 32s vertically next to like a horizontal 16 or a 24. But that did end up resulting in it not transferring properly when I went to finish yesterday. It's in, well, it'll be in the video that I'm going to make. Okay, we got the cargo complete, even though the bar didn't fill up, but I trust the complete and the grid returning more than the progress bar. The progress bar has never been a real consistent factor. Alright. We're going to Bygenie, not Seraphim. The other part is going to Tressler, but we're going to Bygenie first. Because I think there's a loop here to go from Bygenie to Seraphim, then Seraphim to Tressler. So we're kind of experimenting with a full kind of roundabout way of keeping it all moving. Correction, the mission, once I accepted, changed pickup locations to Seraphim, so that's still... Oh, yeah. That wasn't a problem in 4.3.1. 4.3.1 was kind of like the golden age of... the very, very brief golden age of whole sea hauling. Because the missions worked really well, and they didn't change locations on you. They're not doing that in this patch, 4.4. They're staying pretty consistent. I haven't had any weird switcheroos. Okay, so, quantum route planning. Since we're in quantum, I know it's real simple and to the point, right? So, Bygenie and Tressler. We know Tressler didn't have a whole lot to do, so from Bygenie now, we're going to see what we got. What at Bygenie... That's back to Everest for 162. I think one of our big ones was going... Oh, shit, to Tressler! Let's go, dude! Alright, but does the 1792 put us over capacity? 1792 to Tressler. Wasn't there also one going to Seraphim? And I'm pretty sure these change. No, not that one. Okay, it wasn't one of the big ones. It must have been one of the medium... Which is like the 165. Yeah, there it is. Oh, it was a double. We don't want to do that anyway. So you seem to have the 247 or 248s, the 165s, and the 136s, 127s. These are kind of your go-tos. That one going back to Everest probably wouldn't be a bad idea since we're going to be going to Tressler. But since we're already getting to our location, we need to make sure these don't collide. So 1848... And we're good, 3,600. So we're going to be within capacity. So we can pick up here, and we're about to take 2 to Tressler to drop off. That is going to work out really well. So this is totally viable, and going a lot smoother already than yesterday did. Because yesterday I was still trying to stack stuff ahead of time, rather than doing my quantum planning route. Quantum route planning. QRP. Okay. Quirp. Use the quirp. Sorry. I say many and do many stupid things. Hello, Bygenie. We are going to just kind of naturally go to the back of the station. I still think that Obsidian's strategy of using the back part of the cargo grid does still appear to be a bit more reliable than using anything closer to the station. Maybe... I don't think this is how it actually works, but just kind of thinking out loud here. Maybe it's because most of the bandwidth or traffic is like in the habitat part of the station, like towards the hangars and shit. So going further away gives you a better signal? The logic is sound, but it might not be valid because it might not be how this works at all. Yeah, what's up, Thorn? Definitely early today because unfortunately today I'm getting cut off early because I got to go meet up with family at 1300 at 1 o'clock my time. So I only got about another 45 minutes or so to stream. I cut out of work a little early this morning just to try to do a little something with the whole C because it was kind of last minute. I didn't want to go without a stream entirely. So we're sort of speed running the focus of the new way you're going to have to use the whole C to make the kind of money we were making before. And that is with my super cleverly coined quantum route planning. It's not really all that special. It's just kind of common sense, honestly. But yesterday doing this a little bit sloppier, I made a little bit over $1 million an hour. So I bet we can probably edge that out and be even more efficient. Also depending on the luck of how a server's performing. We are going to want to turn and burn for this, though, because we are probably 80+% full. Maybe more, closer to 90% full. Alright. We've got processed food and hydrogen. Part of it is offloading here to grab more, and then the big loads will both be going to Port Tressler. I do like seeing multiple loads like this again, though. It's cool. It makes it feel more dynamic, more alive. But we'll see how... We're definitely not going to be over capacity, so there shouldn't be any issue collecting what we're about to collect. But that is part of this sort of stress testing. Let's go ahead and call since we're behind. Immediate deck assignment. Oh, that's a good sign. All right. I think Everest Harbor is probably still going to be a sticking point for this. If only space truckers could have a manifest of what's currently on board their ships in 2955. I know, right? I was making the joke on the last live stream that I'm going to have to get myself a little like clipboard deck log, put in my passenger seat to keep track of what's going where. I mean, I guess that's what the Moby Glass is, but... Alright. So I guess if the auto load doesn't commence, which might be the case here, I'd be really surprised if it does auto load, doing the trigger might work. Calling ATC again. I still can't believe I never thought to try that before now. I mean, I guess I've never really had a reason to, because all we did was the 700k mission. And again, seat check is a very common thing I've had to do, at least in yesterday's patch. Today's patch is going better. I haven't had to seat check as much, which that seems good. Yo, Grady Roberts, what's up, dude? Good to see you in the chat. Welcome, welcome. Alright, we are dumping the hydrogen. What are we picking up? More hydrogen? We don't have to really do our quantum planning or anything because we know the rest is all going, or what's next is all going to Tressler. Wait, did I accept it? Did I not accept it? Oh shit, hang on. That was stupid. It's down here. Damn it. I didn't grab it. It's right here. Alright, well, let's see if the trick works. Because I'm going to have to call it now. So I'm going to hit call one more time.
Cool. Start cargo transfer now.
Hey! It's so smooth! I honestly like this more than the 700k. Yeah, me too. Me too. We're still making stupid money, but it feels like we're actually doing some real trucking. Because, like, we have cargo that's going to Tressler already. We came here to drop off a fat load to pick up another fat load, and now we're going to take both fat loads to Tressler. I don't know. Again, it feels more dynamic. It feels a bit more how the mining game loop got fleshed out. We went from just mine and sell to mine and refine and sell to just more and more. So I'm glad to see some dynamic stuff happening. And it seems like this is all like the same goods going to Tressler. Alright, you're loaded up. Yeah, it's all processed. Oh, man. Okay, Tressler needs a lot of frickin' processed food, apparently. Okay. Pushing off. I think the biggest trick to really avoid the headaches is know that your capacity, maybe even aim a little less. Just imagine 4,600. It's 4,608. But just think 4600. If your combined cargo doesn't go over that, you're probably all right. Port Tressler, here we come. And then while we're in Quantum to Tressler, we will plan our next route. I'm glad that after the Tressler hiccup, this is starting to work. And I think that, again, is the back of the station trick. And we're in the Aorus Quantum Drive because I was really dumb, and I remember when we had that issue in the last live stream where my cat and my Hull C went into claim status, and I used the rented Hull C. Well, I forgot to claim those ships, so they were left in claim status, and thus all of the components on them got wiped when the PTU updated. So I lost both TS2s, a lot of parapet shields. It made me sad. So in the PTU, you can't leave your boats in claim, or you will lose the components. But I still had the 2 Aorus Quantum Drives, which is getting the job done. Time for some quantum route planning. Yeah, Green Dragon, the 700s are gone. That is exactly why we're doing this. I'm trying to show everybody that you can still make bank. It's just going to take a little bit more dynamic hauling, which personally I'm okay with. So we got these 2 missions. That's about 500k worth that we're going to drop off at Tressler. It's still fast. It's still fun. I think this is better, personally. Since we're going to Tressler, though, Stellar Hauling is where you're going, guys. You don't have to mess with Planetary. Interstellar is Red Window Line Haul, and it's still only rookie stuff, which is why I'm not really messing with it, because there's no progression right now. But Stellar, the Kovalek stuff, it's all going to be 162s, 248 or 247, and maybe the 136s, which one of these I think is Tressler back to Aorus. So we'll grab those. I don't think Tressler's got any big boys going back. By Genie to Aorus for some ice, which we might be able to incorporate that, but our route from Bygenie took us to Tressler, so probably not. Tressler to Aorus again, so that's 2, which is good, because these combined, you're already at almost 300k with this really quick return trip to Aorus Harbor. So we've already got a loop between Aorus, Bygenie, and Port Tressler going, and it's fantastic. So in the PTU, you can rent the Hull C. Well, no, sorry. So the game gave me an extra Hull C. It gave me a duplicate Hull C. That's what I meant. I said rent more jokingly, like they gave me an extra one. But yeah, that's why I lost my components, because I forgot to claim the other 2. On a future stream where I can get more time in and off stream, I'll test these doubles. I just don't trust them, and the payout's kind of low. I think we actually have all the big ones in tow here. Well, we got Aorus to Bygenie and Tressler, which that's about 1,500 AUEC, which might have issues with capacity. And we're kind of already doing missions of that payout, so that's another reason I don't really care to mess with that one right now. And this 247 is Aorus to Bygenie again, so that one's looping around, but it's more. It's 1,900. So when we're on our way to Aorus after we drop these 2, it should cause the missions to recycle, so then we can do more quantum route planning. I think for now, though, we've got our 2 from Tressler. They're going to be the lower payouts, but it's just our return trip, so we're carrying, but it's still almost 300k. I mean, we've already made 600k, and we're about to make another 500k, and we've only been going for 38 minutes. So we're making some money. Picking up at a second location so I can drop off both missions to Aorus. Okay, cool. Yeah, let me know how that goes. Looks like the second pickup is not loading properly. I just saw that one. Oh boy, that's not good. You can see how fast this feels though, right guys? It's not just me, right? Like, we do a little quantum route planning in our Mobi-Glass, and then like, we're here. We're at our location. So this feels like you're doing more, which makes time go by, and to me is less boring than just the 700k, you know, back and forth. Not even back and forth. It's like 700k to one location, then you go back empty, then you grab 700k again, then you go back empty. This has you doing a lot more justice, I think, to the Hull C, personally. In my opinion. In my humble, singular opinion here. The only station we haven't hit in this setup, and just because of the way they are, currently is Seraphim. We haven't really had a reason to go there. If you can score a TS2 drive from executive hangars, it'll help a smidge with those longer QT jumps. Yeah, well, in the live build, as long as it carries over, my Maggie C, my trusted Maggie C, has a TS2. And I've had that TS2 since like 4.1 or something. So I hope. I'm just going to make sure that the Maggie C is not in a weird claim status before we get an update. That's the biggest part. Ships in claim status tend to lose their components entirely. Alright. We're going to head towards the back of the station again. And we're just going to make sure that we don't run into any turrets. Now again, something I plan to test off stream and on Monday's live stream is simulating that the auto grid is broken, or maybe we'll have a case where it actually is broken and we can manually deliver. In fact, Hayatsune, I feel stupid because I could have tried that last night. Or yesterday. I think I was doing that before I went live on Battlefield, which is maybe why I was running out of time, but I didn't think about it. I forgot. With the external hangers, if you have a glitch where it partially turns in your stuff and says complete, and you can't auto-load anything back in, you can probably, it might take some time, but you know, if you want the mission to just be completed and you have to get rid of the cargo anyway, and probably wait 15 minutes for your whole C to frickin' claim, you're better off just jumping the cargo on the elevator and turning it in yourself. I'm actually looking forward to testing that. Alright, just enough AOEC to buy a whole C, just waiting for 4.4, as I was told that ships bought late on the current patch usually go poof. Yeah, I don't know that that's true, but I think that it is worth waiting to not take that risk. Yes, because whole C is not cheap. So, I agree. Probably best to just go ahead and wait. Let's go ahead and get turn and burn. If you're getting close, guys, yeah. Go ahead and wait. And if you're really close and struggling to get there or need to cross the edge, let me know. I might be able to throw you a little something to finish the amount. Help out future whole C captains. I don't mind. All right, let's see. Are we? Oh shit. Am I? All right, no, we're clear of hitting anything. We're late to the turn and burn. Just having too much fun chatting with y'all, man. I always want to make sure we're just clear of not hitting stuff like that. It's when you're doing the turn and burn, you're coming in fast. You just got to avoid all that crap. Did we get? No.
Thanks for contacting cargo services.
It'll say you have a deck assignment, which is nice.
Sending you a deck assignment.
There it is. I really hope the ATC carries into live, because there have been cases in the past where the PTU's got like a cool ATC sort of response, but for whatever reason they turn it off in the live build because it's just not reliable. But this has actually been a helpful ATC, because the voice cues are a great verbal way of knowing that things are working properly or not working properly. Sometimes it doubles like that with the old stuff and the new stuff, but it's fine. All right, now this should offload everything, and this should be like a 500k payout. We're still moving. Let's get a little wiggle. Tressler has been a problem already once, where we've had to get a second grid, so we'll see. I'll give it a little wiggle before I do a seat check. Oh yeah, the whole C is like the only ship that really kind of requires the turn and burn if you're moving fast. I usually come into station loaded like this at between 250 to 350 meters a second. And then once I position my vector where I know it's not going to hit anything, I'll start turn and burn. And then usually when I get the little warning at the top of my screen that says ATC, contact ATC, that's when I start my burn to slow down, and that usually times out pretty well. Seat check worked. All right, we did the seat check and it resunk with the server. So seat check is back. I know I've said that a few times, but now you've actually seen it in action. So with the seat check, it allowed our avatar and everything to resynchronize with the back end of the server, and it's offloading properly. So hell yeah. Well, with the TAC, the Asgard, and the Prowler utility viable in game, I have a lot to earn so I can melt fry. Hell yeah, there you go. Any tips on how to calculate the maneuver to not overshoot or fall short? Oh yeah, kind of what I just explained. So one of the easiest tricks I do is I go full afterburner, and when my boost gauge runs out, I go maybe another 20 to 30 meters per second higher than that. That way, when I go to turn and burn, and I hit that afterburner to slow down, it should calculate to where I only have about 30 to 40 meters per second left on regular engines, which is really controllable. That's my tactic. Go based off your boost gauge. That's why I go full power to engines, so it regenerates faster. But yeah, I use that boost gauge because I don't go too much higher than that, because otherwise when you're slowing down, you're going to run out of boost, and then you're just relying on your main engines to slow down all that mass. Now, how much you're carrying changes that, because your thrust to weight ratio gets better the lighter you are. So I use that boost kind of gauge depending on that, and as you gain experience doing the turn and burn, you will learn those kind of instinctive adjustments. I hope that makes sense. All right, we're going to do the call trick.
Hold tight. Start to transfer your cargo.
Bam! Consistently working. I love this. I do the same turn and burn in the cat. Hell yeah, that's awesome. Yo, Ooze, what is up? Ooze, is that raging? Is it a different account, or is that happen to be another Uzi? I've been noticing in Pyro doing Redwind missions at C2 just abandoned on planet, so I've been taking those for bigger hauls. Oh, hell yeah. There you go. All right. We should have our full load now, which is, yep, that looks like the 2 missions worth on counter spindles, which I kind of like that. All right, now we're going to head back to Aorus. All right, this, you know, it started out with a little bit of a rough go at Tressler. If you guys really want to see this from start to finish and what I've been doing, when this is over, go back and watch the VOD at like 1.5 speed to see what I'm doing and get all the tips you might have missed.
Thank you.
Just leave any questions or comments you have down below as well. Maybe ideas for me to test off stream or on Monday's stream. Here we go, back to Aorus. Now, once we're in Quantum, we will get back into some Quantum route planning, which is the terminology I use for just kind of staying intelligent with how we do this, to not have a lot of rework. Rework's what we called it in the Navy, when you had to do a job twice or do extra work because you fucked up. Good tip. I do boost turn and burns on my Vulture while flying around in mining stations looking for abandoned ships. Flying to coupled is so fun. Yo, Raging, it is you. Awesome, dude. Good to see you, man. I can't wait to get in game with you, bro. It's been so long. I know everybody's been kind of busy. Yo, Kenshim, what's going on? Yeah, I fly everywhere decoupled. I only use coupled as like a parking brake when I'm onload, offload. Decoupled's just, whether I'm planet side, space side, I've always been decoupled. That's just my way. But yeah, you'll see me demonstrate the turn and burn. Well, probably not with this run because we're so light. You don't really need it when you have this little cargo. Your forward thrusters are actually strong enough to slow you down decently. I think the biggest tip though is like when you're in the hull C and you're coming into station, don't get too impatient and like fly in at 600 meters a second. You're going to get there pretty quickly, even between 250 to 350. That's kind of like, I think that's a good 250 to be more conservative, 350 if you're feeling a little bit more ballsy, but nobody wants to run into a freaking turret because they're 300 meters per second over speed and can't adjust. You know what I mean? Slow is fast, right? Yo, Kamira, what's up? Good to see you. Glad to see everybody coming in. I am sorry, guys, that I have to cut short today. It really sucks. I love my family. I'm happy to see them, but the planning wasn't the best. And I think that was my fault because I committed to something without paying attention to what I was committing to. Oh yeah, quantum route planning. I got caught up chatting. So, since we're on our way to Aorus, let's see what we got at Aorus that's going to go elsewhere. This will probably be our last bunch here. That's a small one to Baijini. We want to look at the big ones first. Might as well. Baijini back to Tressler. That's massive. That'll put over capacity if we're not careful. Jeez. Oh, we got a Seraphim run. Let's do that. Let's go Seraphim. Mix it up. These are some larger quantities, too. All right, Everest to Baijini. What was the other one? Everest to Baijini as well. Everest to Seraphim. Everest to Baijini and Tressler. Yeah, so it kind of randomly changing can be a little tough. Yeah, no, those two are going to be way too much. 2600 and 1900. You don't have to be great at math to realize that that's going to put you over. Or wait, no, it's not. Holy shit, hang on. We might just be at like 95%. 2583 plus, what was it? No, not that one. 1902. Wow, we won't be over capacity. All right, we're going to do it. This will be our last one to see just how much we made. We're going to be dropping these two off, and we're going to be picking up two other big ones, both from Everest to Baijini, which is awesome. That is kind of just lucky. And they're just under capacity. Because our capacity is 4608. This puts us at 4485. Baijini to Everest. That's actually dope. That would take us back. See, there's a lot of potential here for just continuous trips that you can plan while you're in Quantum, which we would have been done while in Quantum if I wasn't having too much fun chatting with y'all. And now it's Everest to Tressler. Hang on, are there more missions that I just hadn't seen? Or are they changing on us when I grabbed one? I swear we had 2 from Everest to Bygenie. I'm not crazy, am I? Hold up, are we in the right? Are we in Stellar? We are. Bygenie to Everest. Bygenie to Everest. Everest to Tressler. Did that change? No. Seraphim to Tressler. That's a lot. Jeez. Or did I accept them both already? I'm confused. Maybe we'll just do the Everest to Bygenie and Bygenie back to Everest. I don't know. Did you see in 4.4 the autoload 700k missions are gone? Yeah, welcome Inalum. That's been this whole stream. Yep. I'm actually showing you how to make the money without those missions, because yes, they are gone. Confirmed. All the interstellar missions from Kovalex are gone because Redwind Linehaul is now your interstellar provider. We just don't have anything beyond rookie interstellar missions available yet because CIG is diligently testing them because they do not want to break them the way they broke Salvage. So, I mean, this is my guess at least. Just using some common sense, because it is very easy to break these missions and to leave the whole sea incapacitated. So I'm just showing that you can still make insane bank without them by doing, I think, a more fun, more dynamic style of space trucking with the whole sea. We'll be doing this last run or so because I'm running out of time. This might actually, just to be smart, this might be my last run from Everest to Bygenie, and then we'll dock up, and then I gotta get out of here. But this whole VOD, that's going to be maybe just about an hour and a half long, not too bad, is all about that and how to do this. So please feel free to go back and watch it. I highly encourage you to do that. Leave comments, share it. Anybody who's asking about the whole sea, send them this video. I'm going to make a more concise, a quicker, shorter video explaining this stuff as well. Going over what we've seen today. But, yeah. Is there any compelling of the new models other than their looks? Honestly, it depends. Well, so if you're 2021 on your Model Y, then you and I both are on Hardware 3. The most compelling part is the updated FSD tech. That Hardware 4 version 14 autopilot now, or FSD now. Which is one of the reasons that I want to get a new Model Y so bad. So at my main YouTube channel that has 13,000 subscribers actually has some content. I'm going to try to still make some content regardless, because I hate to leave that without producing. But it's kind of tough, you know, when you're still on version 12.6.4 Hardware 3 crap. I mean, but the 2021 Model Y is a great freaking vehicle. And yeah, I'm going to try bed logging. Bed logging was broken like 2 patches ago on the PTU. So that's a good call. That's a good call. I'll watch the VOD. I skipped ahead just to chat before you headed out. Sounds good, man. Thank you. Appreciate it. I really don't want to bug FSD or buy FSD a third time. Yeah, I feel you. I've only subscribed to FSD. I have never actually purchased it. Because I can't justify that extra expense personally. I am not one of those creators that is making millions off YouTube or anything, so I can't really afford to do that. But I can justify $100 a month to subscribe to it. Hands down. I mean, it is worth that to me. I wish there was like a subscribe to own sort of feature, but it is what it is. Alright, we're dropping these two. Yeah, we'll do that though. We will we'll run this mission from Everest to Bygenie. And then we'll see if bed logging works. And that'll be it for this this stream. I will be doing a lot more of this testing off stream. And then again on Monday when we're live again, we will hit the more complicated stuff. We'll try using the freight elevators. All kinds of stuff.
Cool. Start cargo transfer now.
I'm actually really getting to love hearing her say, cool, starting cargo transfer, because it just means it's going. The voice, the ATC is directly tied to the actions being taken and performance. So if you get that vocal note, you're likely getting whatever you're doing done, which is awesome. Now, will we have to call her again to onload? Nope, it is auto onloading, which seems to be a little intermittent. But whether it's auto or whether you call it again real quick, the loading and unloading on 4.4 for the whole sea has been fantastic. I hope that that translates. I will go back and watch for sure. Thanks for this stream. Hell yeah, happy to help. Happy to be able to provide all the whole C testing. Really happy to see how it's performing and the kind of money we're making. We started just over an hour ago with 5.4 million, so we're already 1.4 up. We were at 5.412, I think, is how much we started with, and we're already at 6.8. And this mission isn't done dropping, and we're about to drop another 300k.
All cargo's been transferred.
Or no, the 300k did drop, and then this mission going to buy Genie will be where we end it. But yeah, we're making well over $1 million an hour because we're just at an hour and 6 minutes, and well, actually, I set a timer. We're not even at an hour yet. We're at 55 minutes since we started the missions, so we've done 1.4 in an hour, and we're moving on to finish up. So let's go, dude. The whole C is still a money maker, baby. I don't know of anything else that's making you 1 to 1.5 an hour. What's your main channel on YouTube? I can send you guys a link. I'll put it in the chat for you. It's Cyberlift, CYBRLFT. I can send you all a link if you're interested. I do a lot of customer reaction stuff, like your regular everyday Uber and Lyft customers reacting to FSD and just kind of keeping up with the performance. Like, kind of how I'm testing the whole C. That's how I treat Tesla's self-driving. So I'm not just there to like say, oh, it's so good, look how cool this is, to be like a cult member or anything. I actually try to give you like an honest critique of it. Be like, no, it's good, but it does this or that or whatever. I try to give you a realistic approach. Is there a heavy fighter at New Deal, Esperanza or something for 1.5 in the PTU? It's going to be like 17 mil. Whoa, what? I'll have to double check on that comment. I haven't seen that. Still getting over this cough. It's really frustrating. Here we go. Yeah, this is my main channel. My first love on YouTube. And I really plan to bring it back. It's just kind of tough at the moment. But I don't want to let that stop me. But there's my first channel, my main content. Not as active as my gaming stuff, because this is honestly a bit easier to keep up with. Wonder how much the raft will be after the price increase. I'm thinking about getting it this IAD. Oh, so is it going to go up? The raft is going to get more expensive? I didn't know that things were planning to change prices. Well, there's a heavy fighter at New Deal, the Esperanza or something, for 1.5 in the PTU. It's going to be like 17 mil. I will have to look into that. That sounds wild. What a price jump. I know that the Prowler utility is surprisingly cheap, apparently, over at Area 18 for like 1.6. It's basically the price of a MISC Razer. Or, sorry, Mirai Razer. It's kind of nutty. I got this annoying document saved text on my... Hang on, let me get rid of this. Maybe that'll get rid of it. There we go. Alright. We're finishing up with 1900 SCU of hydrogen to buy Genie. Yeah, aside from that tiny little hiccup at the start, it went really well. All we had to do was get a different box for that one. Ooh, overcorrected. We are heavy. Slightly ducked into the atmosphere a little bit there too. Here we go. Perfect. I think the 1.6 mil for the Proud utility was a decimal point error. Yeah, right? It'll likely be a bunch more. Yeah, I agree that it's probably going to be closer to like maybe 5 or 6 at least. The mole is like 8, so the Proud utility, I mean, 6 sounds about right. Yeah, it looks like a bird. I think it's just an error because it's inexpensive to buy in real life. Huh. Here we go. Maybe we're talking about the same one. Are there any channels I'd recommend for Star Citizen, or just like channels in general? Because my interests span quite the range. Fitness and nutrition, space and science, like the Renaissance periodization for health and fitness, Tim Dodd, the Everyday Astronaut, Ellie in Space, What About It, Marcus House for all kinds of space-related stuff, Starship stuff, New Glenn stuff. Star Citizen-wise, I really like Even Lease. And I loved a lot of Morphologist old stuff. I don't think he does as much Star Citizen content anymore. He used to do like the Architect Review Ships things, which I really enjoyed. Here we go. Coming in for final approach, final drop off. We'll see how many missions we've actually completed too. We'll take a look at our list. And all of them, again, which I really am happy about, have been 100% completions. So I guess I'll kind of show off the turn and burn here. So I stopped boosting, which I don't usually do, and we're not totally full, so I'm going to get up to about 350, which there we go. Oh, come on a coupled. There we are. I didn't realize I was still coupled. So what I'll also do now is, like, I'll kind of scan and make sure my vector isn't going to hit anything like turrets and such. Sometimes I'll hit the inner thought and really zoom in to see if there's like anything obviously translating across screen that I might hit, which it looks like we're clear of anything directly in front of us. Might move this a little bit this way. Yeah, okay, so there is something kind of below that. Now, we got the call ATC to land. I should technically be burning already. Space Explorer games, the first-person shooter mechanics. Oh, yeah, actually, I don't know. I mean, aside from Star Citizen, I don't know too many other games that are kind of in this category. No Man's Sky to some degree, but that's a bit cartoony compared to this. Hey, Bryce is a fun Star Citizen channel. Yeah, thanks for the rec. Yeah, anybody in the chat who's got recommendations, please send them out for Grady. Appreciate it all. Yeah, see, and this is actually calculating out pretty well. We are almost done burning, and we're at about 50 meters a second, which is great. I'll actually let us cruise here about 40. We kind of burned a little early because we're lighter. So I'm going to actually speed us back up to about 50 and start rotating. I'm going to have a golem or oxet. Instead of mining, it's going to be able to hold 32 SU and just speculation at this point. I hope to see more salvage of that size rather than just the mining. Like, I wish the golem had a salvage counterpart, honestly. That'd be sick. Oh, just if anybody didn't know, Stanton's cargo area did get the same sort of love that Levski has now. These are actually individual cargo bays that you can access external elevators at. In fact, what we're pointing at right now here is the platform. This is where you would go. You can actually see the little spot down there where you would stand right here where the elevators are. And there's the elevator. Did we get a deck assignment? There we go. Finally got a deck assignment. There it is. We already have 2 small and 1 capital salvagers. We need a medium salvager. Yeah, that's fair. I think one of the reasons that I would like something golem-sized is because I want to be able to stash it on the ironclad and just, like, stay out for a really long time.
You are blocking an active flight lane. Please vacate the vicinity.
But yeah, you're not wrong. We do technically have the smaller salvagers kind of taken care of. Is there any chance of Nyx releasing before IAE? It's gonna come together. IAE and Nyx should be coming roughly at the same time. Nyx might be like a week or 2 before IAE, depending on how long it is. I don't think it's a month-long event, is it, guys? It's like 2 weeks or a week. I think technically with 4.4 and Nyx coming out, I think it's going to come just before or at the same time. But I'm not 100%. Yeah, we're offloading. This is going really well. Like on the PTU side right now, I think the IAE stuff is over at Orison. I have no interest to go see it early. There's not really too much at IAE that's really got me excited. I was hoping to see the Ironclad, but I don't think so. I think that might be an Invictus thing. It is what it is. But yeah, let's see. We're an hour and 4 minutes in. And we are done. An hour and 4 minutes made us nearly 2 mil. Nearly 2 mil. 7105 minus 5412. 1.7 million in an hour and 5 minutes. That is really freaking good. And if it's consistent, honestly, that is better than the reduced payout a lot of us were getting for the partial completions on the 700k missions. Because if you got a partial complete, you were making like 530k. You weren't making 700. So, honestly, this method pays you close to, if not better, more consistently than the 700k mission method did. And you get to do more. So, I think it's a win-win, personally. There's talk about 4.4 coming out before, so they can patch it by... Yeah, and no, and that is probably what's going to happen. I think it's going to probably be out a week or two before, kind of like they did with Invictus. That way the patch can be kind of smoothed out before the free fly event and everything else, because you know that usually tends to stress the game pretty badly. Let's see if we can do a bedlog test real fast. So we'll go into partial space between this and Walla. Bedlogging in the whole sea has been a problem. It's been really frustrating. So we'll do a partial jump about halfway between these 2 points, because what it would do is say that we're still in a landing area. Alright, we'll jump out here. I will throw us into parking, and I will put our shields on. Let's see if we can bedlog. We're already less than a week out from IAE. Well, they can always push it back. You know, the plans change. I guess we'll see. We'll see what they do. Because they're definitely not bringing out 4.4 in that time. At least I hope they don't rush it, because I haven't been back to Levski since testing the whole C for these. But Levski's been rough, man. I know we're on all waves of PTU, but if these devs are smart, they're going to wait. Push back IE, who cares, man? Give us a good patch that isn't going to be totally busted. I think you would like a game based off of Dune that Skilf McPhilly played. I might, yeah, maybe. I haven't had a whole lot of time to play other games, to be honest. Yeah, I figured you meant Dune the movie. Alright. Well, let's see if this works. So it's never this top one for Get Up. It's always going to be kind of like down here. There it is. And, oh, it's working right now. Holy cow. Okay, cool. Well, I'm really sorry, guys, to have to cut it here kind of abruptly, but it is after 11, and I've got to finish getting ready so we can hit the road. We got about an hour-and-a-half drive ahead of us. That was a lot of fun. If you have questions further, please just drop them in the comment section. That'll be on the VOD for this on YouTube. Most of you guys were watching from YouTube. Let me know what you think, what you might want to see me try with the whole C as we continue PTU testing. I'll be live again on Monday, but I can work offline trying some things out. Thank you so much for tuning in for this very quick and kind of early stream. I'm sorry for the last minute sort of change. I know it kind of sucks, but we will be back on Monday, guys.